Apfelbaum has trained over 1,000 companies on how to leverage LinkedIn over the past 3 years, and most recently on how to use AI for business development and marketing. He's here back after a whole decade of podcasting. I think he was like number 283 or so, and now we're on 1,600-ish. And he's the author of 5 books, including his most recent book, High Energy Networking. And he is the founder of EvyAI, which is an AI assistant for LinkedIn. And it helps LinkedIn users just like you maximize the platform and save time by using an AI that learns your voice and can help craft comments and content. And he's always on stages all over the world, inspiring and educating people. He's got 5 children. He rollerblades, he raps, he's in Hillside, New Jersey. So we're here to have a lot of fun and talk AI, LinkedIn, networking, making money, helping others, and just, living this fulfilling, amazing life. So Mr. Joe, great to see you again.
Thank you for having me on the show 10 years later. That's insane.
Oh, yeah. And so many things have happened. So many businesses and people have come and gone, but we're a couple of consistent guys, right? You find something that works and you stick with it.
Yeah. You find something that works, you stick with it. But more importantly is you have a vision for what you want to create. So the software company that I have now, we're 3 years into it. We have clients in 40 countries around the world. The idea came after COVID. The idea came after ChatGPT. But the desire to build a software company was when you interviewed me way back then. I had the desire of building a SaaS company. I just didn't have the tools and the ability and the bandwidth to do it. I didn't have the time and the space to do it because I was so busy with my multi-million-dollar digital marketing agency that I didn't have the capacity. And with artificial intelligence, it kind of gave me the capacity, gave me the idea, and it gave me the capacity to be able to do it. So when ChatGPT came out, I just had settled my divorce. I went through a very difficult, traumatic divorce in 2020. It was by the end of 2022, that's when I got settled. And then ChatGPT came out in November. It grew to 1 million users in 5 days, and everybody's going crazy over it. So I jumped in and went crazy over it as well. And then I decided I'm going to take ChatGPT on a vacation with me to Mexico, because I don't have a date. I might as well go on a date with ChatGPT. It's like my best friend now. And so we went to Mexico, and we're sitting on the beach, sipping some yummy stuff. And all of a sudden I turn to ChatGPT and I say, hey, ChatGPT, I really want to impact the world and make a difference. What should I do? And ChatGPT started telling me that I should go back to my goal of building a software, and I should actually build it now that I'm divorced. And I said, well, what type of software? And then it went into like the type of software I should create and how it could help me. And all of a sudden I was like, damn, this is a good idea. And then I put up a poll on LinkedIn asking people if they want it. And 500 people said they would pay for it. 500. And so I made a Stripe link and 100 people paid. And I knew that I was in business because I had 100 customers before I even had a product. And so that's kind of like how I built Ajax Union. And that's how I built my training company. And this is how I built EvyAI as well, where I first get the customers and then I build the product. That's the idea.
Oh, yeah. And that's really encouraging. And you're giving me flashbacks because that's how I used, like back before everyone had a course or back before a lot of people did webinars, like I would do the same thing, right? You say, what's the offer? What's the sales letter? What's the payment button? Sometimes even just the payment button, and then get the kind of the validation first, right? Get the social proof, people buying with their wallets. And then it's like, well, but then the pressure's on at that point, right? Like, do you ever worry about that? Like there's it's kind of like good and bad motivation. It's good because you say, well, people are depending on me. And I guess worst case, I could just refund all the transactions. But do you sometimes worry about dropping the ball? You say, I've got the money. Now I have to actually put my mouth where my money is, so to speak.
I did offer a money back guarantee when I launched a business. And I told people that, hey, if you're not happy for whatever reason, I'll give you your money back, but you're never going to get this deal again. Meaning the deal that I gave them was so good. And nobody asked me for a refund, even though the first iteration didn't really work right. And so I had to fix it. And then eventually that developer left and he stopped making it work. And then I had to go find a new developer and redo the whole thing and whatever. But those people stuck with me through the whole thing and they're still around. I still have those clients. They're still super happy. And we've added many, many more clients in 40 countries around the world. And we've added hundreds and hundreds of features. Like we have a chatbot now that you can chat with. and it'll look up 280 million people and tell you who you should be connecting with and who you should be building relationships with. We have an AI agent that will review all your connections and research them online the way I researched you, the way I found every podcast you've been on, and your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, the fact that, you're in 408 area code, and your website, and your Gmail, and your regular email, and like all your information, your key services, how you help clients. Like, I have everything about you, a dossier about you. Like I said earlier, I know more about you than ChatGPT knows about you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're touching on, there's something that's really, I think, important for, I think it used to be only important for entrepreneurs, but now we all need the responsibility, is you get all this information, right? You get just like a fire hose of like, here's all the podcast stuff and all the LinkedIn. And it seems like there's a need to like distill it quickly, right? Because I feel like the average person, if they looked at what you're describing about me, they would just like, they maybe fixate on a couple of points of randomness, or they'd be so overwhelmed they wouldn't know where to begin. And I feel like, I mean, LinkedIn's amazing. And I feel like I've looked at, probably like hundreds of profiles every week just from the general networking. And after a while, I can like pay attention to what is important and what will get me to a satisfying conclusion. And so, like, do you think that that's important, like distilling all the mess into a few actionable points?
I think that a lot AI is not for everybody. If somebody's too uptight about getting it perfect every single time, they're going to fail with AI. They're going to be frustrated. It's not going to work. Don't use AI. Use a typewriter. Use a fax machine. You know what I mean? It's not for you.
Yeah.
You have to be very open-minded and very growth-minded with AI and realize that it's not perfect, just like humans are flawed. AI is flawed. And some people, they can't take anybody that makes a typo. They lose it when somebody makes a typo. Just get over it. You know what I mean? If you can't get over it, don't use AI. AI is not going to be perfect, but it is magical. If you use it, it is magical how much time you save. And so instead of complaining about AI, ask yourself, how can I make it better? How can I improve it? How can I leverage it? Don't say, oh, it doesn't work right. It lied about a specific topic. It hallucinated. Of course it's going to hallucinate. You think if human beings lie, AI is not going to lie? AI is going to gaslight you. I'm going to gaslight AI right back. I'm going to enjoy it. That's
Right.
what SEO is. You're gaslighting Google to make you number one. That's the idea behind SEO. You're convincing it to make you number one. But people don't like that word. People don't like to get an edge, to do marketing. They think it's cheating to be number one, to figure out a hack. They're like, don't hack, follow the rules. That's what they teach you in school. So go follow it and then be like 80% of people that are living paycheck to paycheck. If that makes you happy, do that. Doesn't make me happy. Some people are happy that they get to complain. I don't want things to complain about. Instead of complaining, I want to be able to bless other people. I want to be able to make a difference for other people. I want to be able to grow my business and focus on giving. I believe that the secret to living is giving. And for me, I just went on a networking call a few minutes ago and I shared a bunch of tips on how to use AI. I didn't even need to talk about my own business. I just shared tips and everybody's like, more, 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 more. We want more, Like I was adding value after value after value. And people are like, damn, son, this guy knows what time it is. And it's because I'm obsessed with adding value. I'm obsessed with making a difference for people. That's what I'm obsessed with. And most people, they don't realize how powerful it is to build real relationships with other people and to get to know them. And so I want to use AI to automate my technology, but then I want to build real relationships with people and really use AI to help me get to know them. Like, I really want to know more about you. I want to get to know you. AI makes that happen faster.
Very nice. So there is definitely a mindset retraining that's needed if someone wants to be more like you, and maybe if they're not there yet. And I love the saying, if you help, if you get everything you want in life, if you help others get what they want. And it's a very like beautiful concept, and especially what your mission is. Oh, hey there, we got a visitor. If
We
your
do.
mission is here,
My daughter is here. Yeah.
nice, 1 of 5, right?
Yeah,
And
1 of 5.
so yeah, and so it's like so you're saying that we need to kind of like abandon that perfectionist mindset, and it's like, oh, if there's one wrong thing with AI, I'll get rid of the whole entire thing. And I think it's a great just passion you have here of using AI to get closer to people, because the fear is that AI will drive us further apart. It's like social media, right? It's how you use the tool. And so like LinkedIn is amazing. I feel like LinkedIn is what Facebook was supposed to be, isn't it? Like whenever I meet with someone, I pull up their LinkedIn, look at their profile, look at their posts. I'm not as dialed in as you with the AI tools, but if someone's like not using LinkedIn as much as you or me, or if they're not using AI to its fullest potential, like what's the crash course? So what would you say about LinkedIn combined with AI?
Well, we have a class called LinkedIn 101 where we teach all the basics of how to use LinkedIn, and we make it available to everyone that joins our very premium level of our AI, which is super affordable. It's like 50 cents. It's like very affordable. So if anybody wants that, they can reach out to me and I'll give them the LinkedIn 101. But, you know, getting trained on how to network is very important. Most people, they're so busy just being transactional. They're so busy in scarcity mode that they don't even know how to network. They don't even know how to build relationships. They're so busy like, oh, let me tell you what I do. Nobody cares about what you do until they know how much you care about them. They know how much you care about them, then suddenly they care about you. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So building those real relationships with people and taking the time and getting to know them, that's going to be the differentiator that you have in the world of AI, where AI can basically just know everything and do everything in seconds. And so it's not how much you know. Nobody cares how much you know. They have to know how much you care. And they have to make it a big deal. You have to make a big deal about building those relationships and getting to know people and taking the time to be authentic, not waste time, but actually be authentic and build those relationships. And if you can do that, if you can take the time to actually be authentic and build those relationships and get to know people, the likelihood of you being successful, that's the key. That's the key. You're going to be successful when people trust you, know you, like you, refer you, and so on. But most people are not doing that.
And I can see why they're not, because it's weird, right? It's counterintuitive. And I mean, over the years and the decades, I've had Zoom meetings or I've had in-person conversations where I'm just like, why is this person spending 20 minutes, or why is Joe talking about AI for 30 minutes with like no benefit to him? But like, I still think about the people that have helped me way back then. And it's like, of course, you don't want to spend your whole day doing that, but just that kind of going back to like the entrepreneurial business owner, think and grow rich type of idea of, in the pie chart of your day, you say, well, I'm going to have some amount where I'm just being authentic and giving to others. And it's a great lesson that we need to think about. And so as far as like this passion that you have, this EvyAI tool that helps us to network better on LinkedIn, helps us to communicate, what should we know about that?
Well, there are three things that people need if they want to be successful. They need three things. Number one is they need a good network. Just adding connections on LinkedIn, Robert, is not enough. You need a really good network of people that know you, like you, and trust you. And so we help you organize your network in a meaningful way. You happen to have 14,000 people on LinkedIn. We'll download all your people, organize them, research them, and tell you who you need to be in touch with and who you need to be building relationships or whatever. So you need to organize your network, you need to research your network, and you need to get notes on everybody and all the right. That's number one. Number two is the second thing you need good content, because good content will get you tons of exposure. And so if you get the combination of network and content, and then you layer on community, then you have the proper way of doing business. You have your network, you have your content, and you have your community. And EvyAI provides those three to help you be able to have 5 meaningful conversations every day to generate an extra $100,000 in profit in your business. So we'll sit with you, help you pick your target market, help you pick the right messaging, help you identify how can you generate $100,000 in profit in your business using your network, doing the right content. And content doesn't just include posts. It also includes comments. It also includes emails. It also includes messages. It also includes all the things that you need, images, videos. So we'll help you be able to get the right content, the right network, and the right community in place. And then we'll train you, hold you accountable. We meet with our clients every day, twice a day at 12 and at 7. So we're
Whoa.
available. Most companies that start a software company, they don't make themselves available to their clients. But we're there every day. We're there every single day, available live on Zoom. Who do you know that does that? Microsoft Windows doesn't do that. Microsoft Office doesn't do that. Nobody does that. But because we're so small, we only have clients in 40 countries around the world. People can log in. We can help them out. We have 7 employees that sit there. Anybody that has a question, they can go into a private room or they can ask in the group, and then we help them out. And that's how we roll.
That's impressive. That's some amazing structure, discipline, dedication. And I like, as you said, like there's the software and what it does, but there's also kind of the routine, the habits of saying, well, have these 5 conversations every day, because it does seem like there's so many LinkedIn automation tools out there, right? There's the ones that add, the ones that send the messages, and you see like just people not they fall out of it, right? Because it's not kind of integrated into what they do on a daily basis. And so this is some exciting stuff. And because on a podcast we love stories, so as far as like some real companies that you've transformed, do you have any fun story to share with us about someone that's used your tool and had some amazing results with it?
Yeah, I had a client come over to me and say, Joe, I'm having trouble. I'm not getting on enough conversations with people and I'm not generating revenue. So I said, buy EvyAI and we'll help you out. And so he bought EvyAI, paid a few $1,000 for it, including training, support, everything. Within 90 days, he closed $100,000 in new business. And I said, what was the secret? He said, I just followed your 9-step methodology and I'm having 5 conversations a day. And I generated my $100,000 in revenue. He left me a written testimonial on LinkedIn. He's one of the 500 people that have written me a recommendation. Look at my LinkedIn. You'll be able to read my recommendations. Most people, they don't have 3. I know you have over 30, but most people don't even have 3. So for me, I love building relationships with people, getting to know them. But more importantly, it's about understanding how to be able to add value to other people. That's really the key. And when I understand how I can add the most value to you, if I can show you how to get more DFY podcast people that'll pay you a few $1,000 a year, that'll be transformational for you. And that's the idea.
I love it. And especially the solving the math problem, right? Because you and I do know that some of what we put out won't come back, but that's the point, right? You kind of help people, and you know that in some way it'll come back, and you have these 5 conversations, and some of them will lead to referrals and deals, but it's just part of what has worked for you and has worked for others. And so when you have these 5 conversations, like what's a conversation exactly? Is it like a text chat, a 10-minute Zoom? Like, what are these 5?
A conversation is getting on the phone or on a Zoom with somebody or on a Teams or on a Google Meet and just connecting and asking questions and talking and getting to know each other. It's that human soul to soul connection that we have where we connect and build a real relationship with each other. It's not about sending a DM. Yeah, you're going to send out 100 DMs in one day, but a conversation is not that. It's actually getting on the phone and trying to figure out how are we going to build a real relationship with each other? What do we need to do to really get to know each other in a meaningful way? And often what will happen is people will meet and they won't be able to do business together, but they will be able to refer business to each other. And that's the key. The key is learning how to build relationships with each other, connecting with each other, and going deeper.
I love it. And having the activity in place. And so I feel like maybe since we met last a decade ago, I feel like I'm maybe like 7.5 times more socially outgoing than I was, but it didn't come natural. I had to like learn this skill. And still there's sometimes when I have like too many meetings in a day and I feel a little tired, or I feel like I'm dreading it. And I know like having that strong purpose and doing the mental work helps a lot. But if someone says, 5 of these meetings a day, like sometimes I get tired or sometimes I get discouraged, do you have any like mental advice to get and stay in a good mindset for these 5 daily meetings?
Yes. For me, it's about scheduling the meetings in the morning so that you have the mental energy to do them, keeping them short. They don't have to be these long, long meetings. I like 15 to 20-minute meetings with people. And recognizing right at the beginning of the meeting, is this a person that I'm going to want to follow up with? Is this a person that I vibe with? Because then I'll get energy. It won't be like an energy suck. If it's not a person that you vibe with, you just politely end the meeting as quickly as you can. You thank them very much. You learn about them. You send them whatever information they need. You ask them how you could help them. You don't even bother talking about yourself. because you're not going to follow up with the person. It doesn't matter. Make it about them and move on. Because usually the people that you won't vibe with, you're not going to want to try. You're not going to tribe with. You're not going to get along with, and you're not going to want to move. So only about 30% of the people that you speak to, you're actually going to connect with. And so if you shorten the meeting and you have a good day and you move on, you'll make time for the people that you need to like reschedule your next 3 meetings so you can go super deep with. You know what I mean? And that's where the energy comes from. When you're with your best friend, you want to spend all day with them. You want to spend all night with them. You want to just like go on vacation with them. You never want to leave them. That's how I want you to feel with your right 100 people. And if you had 100 people that you loved and that referred you business constantly and that you referred business to them constantly, 100 people like that out of your 14,000 connections, it would change everything for you. It would change
Oh, yeah.
everything for you. And so that's what I teach you how to find, but you need to go through 1,000 people to find your 100. And it takes a year. And if you do that over the course of the year, you'll never have to worry about where your money comes from ever again.
Very amazing. It sounds like dating, right? It's like you're sorting out the who are you people and who, be polite and you end it with, and then you kind of move on to who deserves your focus. And so it's
Yeah.
amazing what you've developed, discovered, and taught other people. And we've jumped around so many different interesting topics. But since you're the star of the show here, Mr. Joe, in the final minutes of our conversation, do you think there might be a missing question that I should be asking you? I just don't know what to ask you.
I think you should ask me about the pivot from marketing agency to AI and if everyone needs to pivot to AI or are regular businesses still going to be around? Meaning, there's so many agency owners that are worried that AI is going to take over their agency. And so the question could be somewhere in the range of like, Joe, you jumped into AI right away and you teach people how to use AI and you train companies on how to use AI. Does everyone need to jump into AI and abandon their current companies that they've been running for 30 years? Or what's the deal with that?
Well, what does it do with that? Do we all need to be on the AI train like you, or can we take a different path?
I think that everyone needs to learn about the power of AI and how to integrate it with what they're already doing. But they don't need to leave what they're doing because AI is not going to take over everything overnight. It will enhance everything overnight. And so find ways to integrate AI into your business and into your life to make your life better. I'll give you a clear example. I still have a coach, but AI holds me accountable to if I drank water or not each day. You know what I mean? I have a Telegram agent, Hermes agent, that sends me a text message every 2 hours saying, "Did you drink water?" And if I don't respond, it'll reach out to my accountability buddies in real life and say, "Hey, he's not responding. What's going on?" And then those people might come over to me and tap me on the shoulder, be like, "Well, hey, why is your AI reaching out to me saying that you're not responding? Could you respond?" I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't get to it. Okay, let me respond." You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
they will, or they could respond for me or whatever. So it's just super interesting the way that AI can be helpful for you.
Oh, yeah. The way that we can engineer a life where it performs the boring tasks, and the recurring theme in our conversation is for AI to enhance what you do, not necessarily replace or make things impersonal or worse. It's like, well, if you want to build this business and you know that it requires some of this repetition and some of these other people in your corner, well, then use it to reach out and build this tribe so that way you can have the networking and the content and the community that will get you there. And it might be a little bit of a difficult change period, that 1 year, to find those 1,000 people, to find the 100 that are the ones that are for you, to have those 5 meetings a day. But hey, it's doable, right? There's a clear plan laid out in front of us. And if we are looking into EvyAI and just the whole beast that you've built, what's the next step here? How can someone enter your world?
The next step is go to EvyAI.com, sign up for a free account and test it out. Talk to the chatbot. Say, find me CEOs in New York City and see what it does. Say, build a bio for me. Ask me questions. Help me build a strategy and see what it does. And start using it. Download the Chrome extension, use it on the side of your browser, and check out my LinkedIn profile, joelinkedin.com. Reach out to me. Send me a text message. Tell me that you heard this. Send me a DM. Say, I heard this podcast and I loved it. Thank you, Joe. You can send a text message to 973-841-8868. You can send the word demo to 973-841-8868. When you send the word demo, DEMO, my AI will respond to you and see how that works. Powerful.
Oh yeah, we'll put it to the test. So joelinkedin.com, and then we'll put the phone number to text and what to text right there. And you are so dialed in with LinkedIn. We're live right now on LinkedIn. I didn't even realize I have your LinkedIn in front of me, and I didn't even. I mean, I need to steal that trick, right? Being a guest on a podcast, and there you go. It's live streaming right there to those followers. So
My assistant wanted to watch, so I said, you know what? Let me go on LinkedIn Live so you can watch. So my assistant's watching right now. There's not that many people watching, but my assistant is watching.
ooh, well, that's very, very, very funny and an amazing live demonstration, even for me, of what's possible. And as you know, the unfortunate reality is that there are people where I go, they're interesting to me, right? There's someone where like I love their book, I love their site, I love their YouTube. I go on their LinkedIn. The last post was 8 months ago. They don't have their bio filled in, and it's like, but if you just did a few enhancements, then you could be like properly curated, so that way the people who are looking for you will say, hey, this person is putting out the right signals that Joe is. They're active on LinkedIn. There's somebody that I want to do business with, someone I want to know, like, and trust. And so
Yeah.
joelinkedin.com is where we can check you out on LinkedIn. There's the phone number to text, and there's EvyAI.com. Put it to the test, play around with it, test it out. And it's like there's so many things since AI started that I've done on LinkedIn by hand. And there's so many times where I'm like, I wish there was a Chrome extension that could kind of jump in and download the data for me and tell me what to do. And it exists now. It's so
Yeah.
even I need to check it out.
Yeah.
EvyAI.com.
100%. 100%. And here's another thing is, you have 30 recommendations on LinkedIn, but nobody can read them. The LLM can read them because LinkedIn doesn't let Gemini and Claude and ChatGPT and Grok browse LinkedIn. They can't. And so Google can't even read them. So what do you do with all those LinkedIn recommendations that you have? They're so valuable. You want everyone and all the LLMs to read them so everybody knows. So I built a website, EvyAIreviews.com. I took all my LinkedIn recommendations, copy and pasted them into Gemini, and I said, make me a landing page that's HTML, CSS. Make sure that it's super SSM and SEO and LLM friendly. And then I went to Cloudflare, which does free hosting. I bought a domain from them, and I took the domain that I bought and I put it on Cloudflare pages, and I created an HTML page that's super SEO friendly. It already ranks on the first page of Google. I bought the domain last week.
Oh my gosh. You're a
And it and it
genius. You're an
and it
innovator.
and it ranks inside Claude, inside Gemini. When you ask it for the reviews, it has 341 reviews. It took only the ones related to EvyAI for my LinkedIn. I took all of them from the Chrome store. That's also not indexable because you got to hit load more, load more, load more. So it doesn't rank. But now
Right.
all the reviews are ranking everywhere. And it's all on one dedicated website that an LLM could gobble up in 2 seconds and know why EvyAI is so trusted and who the customers are. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of customers that have put their name there and their LinkedIn profiles and everything they said about us. So you could read everything on one page now. So you can do this in 10 seconds.
Yes. You're crazy. You're an action taker, and it's right there for the taking. It's like we've done the hard work of getting those LinkedIn recommendations or those Chrome web store reviews wherever we have, and they're not even being indexed, and we don't even realize, right? We just assume, but then and this is why we need to stay up to date and take advantage of those 2 daily calls where there's someone like you and your team saying like, hey, this is just some low-hanging fruit. You click a couple of buttons. You don't even know that you could do this. You could get the Cloudflare hosting, and you could get this built into a HTML page, and there you go. Now you're attracting new business. And so
And it's free. And
every
it's free.
yeah,
The cloud
and
it's
for free
free.
too. Yeah, just what a time to be alive. So that's EvyAIreviews.com if you want to see that page that Joe created. EvyAI.com, JoeLinkedIn.com. Before I let you go, Mr. Joe, it's time for the final finale, scary part of the podcast where I try to stump you. I try to put you on the spot by asking about a fun or interesting quote or lesson that has served you. So what comes to mind as far as a quote or lesson?
So for me, the lesson is the right strategy will save you a decade. I watched my mother try to build her business for a decade in the Lower East Side and eventually go out of business. And it wasn't because she didn't work hard. She worked very, very, very hard, but she didn't have the right strategy. The right strategy will save you a decade. If you want the right strategy, our AI will build your entire strategy, your business plan, your marketing plan, your LinkedIn plan, your ICP, your COI, your messaging, your pains, goals, dreams, fears, the questions your clients ask. It'll download all your stories from online. It'll optimize your profile. It'll give you stages for your CRM. It'll do everything for you. In under 5 minutes, everything will be done for you, and you'll have a strategy that you can use that will help you make $100,000 in profit in your business. So if you don't have a strategy, the lesson today is get a strategy. The right strategy will save you a decade.
Very wise. And we can take that first step towards getting that strategy by going to EvyAI.com. We'll see you there. And it's been such a blast catching up with you after a decade, Mr. Joe. I'm so glad that we made time for this, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you on the next one.